Hey everyone, you are listening to Narayan Jha. In this podcast, I am going to talk about my book Reinvent Yourself, which is all about learning the fundamentals of living a happy life with nothing. Basically, in this book, I have talked about the finance, goals, achievements, motivation, failures, and a lot of cool things. If you haven't gone through my book Reinvent Yourself, the episode for this podcast is specially for you. So without wasting time, let's get started with the episode. In this episode, let's start the chapter 4. Its name is Risk, the finest teacher of your life. Risk, a smallest 4-character word that sounds too horrible. It's not only horrible for poor or middle class. It also implies for every rich class people as well. If we talk about its definition, then we can say that any uncertain scenario that we never want to happen works opposite to our planning or action. Risk is something that works exactly the same for everyone without any kind of discrimination. If we see rich people like Ambani's, Adani's and Elon Musk, they also go through risk even though their chances of risk are even much higher than any of the common man. The risk might be anything. It might be related to health, finance, business, research, and many others. What exactly is the thing? These people are capable of taking higher risk and higher return, but on the other hand, common people is just stuck under the common things itself. There are a lot of people who come under the common category and they can't even afford to take 0.001% of the risk. Some people are not even able to think to grow just because they don't take any kind of calculated risk. Remember, if you really want to grow and get something, there might be definitely some risk would be there. Doing nothing just because there is a risk is sometimes much more expensive than just sitting idle and playing safe. What exactly is the difference between these two categories of people? Why do rich people become rich and able to do all the stuff that they want to do, whereas the other people is too much busy with their routines and systems that they are not able to think beyond that? Risk can be one of the greatest teachers if you can start facing instead of just ignoring or getting scared of it. A lot of people just want to ignore just because they don't have the courage to face the risk. That's one of the reasons they are not able to get the things they want. There are a lot of other things as well for which we might not consider taking risk, like health, family, friends, and etc. This chapter will not only considering taking risk that can be originated like businesses, skills, finances, or whatever the childhood dream. If you read the first chapter of the book, that is Think Money as a Tool, Not as a Trap, rich people have a lot of assets and businesses that work for them and they are able to buy time and peace of mind. Because of passive streams without worrying about bread and butter, it also not implies to those who are stuck in the cycle of greediness. But if you have enough time and resources, then you will be able to think much deeper about the risks without ignoring things and having fear of losing things as well. Rich people make risks as their best friends. They are very much clear about their best friends. We can't say that rich people never fail, but the motivation of standing up and fighting again comes with a calculation, not with a hit and trial. Otherwise, you might end up losing every time, and you might also lose the motivation and energy for doing anything too. They create a lot of matrices to know the risks very clearly, so that they can take the next piece of action wisely. In other simple words, they love taking risk and having high returns just because they have the art of managing the risks, calculating it and wisely mitigating them. By monitoring all the matrices of risk, rich people are able to save a lot of energy and time, which can be utilized for taking further actions or maybe for the enjoyment by doing a world tour, etc. Let's try to figure out a few of the common things that we can also consider while taking any kind of risk. They will give the essence for taking risk without losing energy and motivation. Rich people think about the below mentioned things before actually taking any kind of risk, just because these steps help get enough probability of winning the game. Now, whenever you want to take a risk, just think with these 8 steps. Number 1, calculate the risk. How much is the risk is available? Is it too high or can be accommodated? Number 2, what exactly is your appetite of taking that risk? Number 3, how much is the probability of that risk of happening? Number 4, what exactly are the impacts are available of that risk happening? If something goes bad, that how much is the impact? Number 5, is there any alternatives available? Number 6, create a backup plan for that risk. Number 7, always prioritize the risk. If multiple risks are available, you can make it as in a ascending order or in a descending order. Number 8, if fails, then consider it as a learning and plan for next piece of action, so that you will not lose the energy and not feeling a guilt or a kind of demotivation. Like rich people, you should start taking risks and start learning with it. At least start with something like 1 or 2% of your risky things, for which you can't be worried, because it will help you to develop the art to deal with unexpected situations. You should be good enough with the knowledge or such things while taking risks, so that you must know the results behind it. Sometimes such learning has the capability to give you the best possible returns, because not everyone in this whole world is trying to deal with the risk and learn from it. But those few who accept the risk and learn from it, they develop the capability to deal with the fear of losing something and achieve the amazing stages of their life. Once you learn the way to work with the risk, you will start playing with it, and you can also be one of the game changers of your life. I'm hoping you really enjoyed this episode. If so, please don't forget to review on your social media. I'll meet you in the next episode. Till then, goodbye.